it's your girl TNT, and I'm here with episode 2 of BeYOUtiful Creations. BeYOUtiful Creations is a series I recently started to highlight individuals who are walking in their purpose and living their life to the fullest, creating content, art, music, whatever it is that they create. In this episode, I'll be speaking with C&J Creative, a talented creative duo who have been working on some amazing projects together. Let's get started. The one and only C&J Creative. We have CJ and Jarrett. Thank y'all so much for being here with me for episode 2 of BeYOUtiful Creations. Woo. How are y'all doing tonight?
We're doing so good. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, super happy to be here. Honored to be episode 2. You know, let's keep it going.
Yes. So when I started seeing y'all were collabing on so many videos and projects, I was like, ooh, I gotta talk to them because this is just so dope. I know y'all are two creatives, and for y'all to come together as a duo, just powerful. So first I want to start off with, how did C&J Creative get started?
What initially happened was pandemic, came and everything kind of like stopped. My career was just starting as a professional dancer, I felt like. And I always knew that in the future, I wanted to kind of be like more behind the camera and be like more creative direction role and kind of like using dance as like a stepping platform to like kind of like work my way up. Kind of really gave me the space to kind of think about my future and kind of like plan ahead and kind of just like start going like the more creative direction route. And when I was thinking of someone to work with, Jarrett was obviously like the most ideal, like perfect like person that came to mind because I knew we both had like equal passion and love for music, which is kind of like both of our fields that we were kind of wanting to work towards. And yeah, I hit him up with the idea, and yeah, that's kind of how we just got it started.
From my perspective, in terms of dealing and navigating the pandemic before we started, I had just started working with this like production company, and so I was working on a lot of kind of commercial shoots and opportunities, and I was learning a lot about that, and then it all just got shut down and I was thrust into doing a lot of digital and design work. Like artistically, I was in space too where I was like, dang, I really want to be producing and like shooting things that I actually really love and have like more of a creative say in how it's conceptualized. And so at the time, like CJ literally was also the perfect collaborator from like so many perspectives. When the idea was, it was like a hell yeah, let's get it going.
I love that. So what I'm hearing is God's timing, because y'all were on the same page at the same time. Y'all both we have all these creative juices in us. How we gonna get it out? Let us come together as this duo and just make some fire content, some fire projects, and y'all are doing it. So shout out to y'all for not just being an idea, but something that you actually put into work and put into action. So dope. So that actually brings me to, how did y'all first meet?
So we were on this dance team at UCLA called NSU Modern, and yeah. So we met on the dance team essentially. We had the same big on our team, and so we also had that connection like as soon as we kind of joined, but then yeah, became friends. I feel like in college we randomly did little one-off shoots or projects with one another.
We most definitely did. Like I was always hitting Jarrett up to be like, it's my birthday, like can you flick me up? Like so we were definitely kind of like already like creating and just like working with each other, even if it was kind of like a fun level thing. But yeah.
You were in my senior thesis.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I love that. Period. Okay, so UCLA, we bringing together all the talented, powerful creatives. I know UCLA is where we technically met freshman year, 2015, so 7 years ago. And that's really cool to hear that that's how y'all met. So that brings me to y'all's first project. What was the first project that y'all did as C&J Creative, and how was that experience?
So technically our first project, when we were trying to figure out, oh, what do we want to do? What do we want to shoot? There was this song that Paris had already put out that I just thought, I was like, yo, listen to this song. Like, we could create a video concept for it and just send it to her and see what happens. And so we got Asante and our other friend Natalie, who were ironically in our first two projects.
Yeah.
And we basically had them and CJ do choreo, and we did like this footage.
It was really cool. That was kind of like our first like working together, kind of like seeing how we work together, like meshing our strengths and whatnot. And then from there, I guess our second but first official project that we put out was with Natalie, who helped us on the previous project. We did kind of like a dance, fashion-y visual called Mess Me Up to a song by Callie Claire. And yeah, it was kind of like same process. We just had this like vision of kind of like what we wanted like the visual to look like and what it wanted to embody. And then from there, we like built it from the ground up with who we like wanted to be in it, and then moving to like other things that like really inspired us, like the fashion of it all, like how it was going to be filmed, the movement direction, choreography, and then of course like location and stuff like that.
I love that. I love that. So I do have a follow-up question. So when it comes to y'all's projects and with y'all working together, how does that go? Like, how do y'all break up the work when it comes to working together as a duo? Do you have one person that records, one person that edits, one person that choreographs, or is it all half and half together? How does that work?
That's a really good question. When it comes to like creative and like idea building, that's definitely like a 50-50. Like, we're both putting in ideas, we're both like building off of each other, and like,
yeah, like assembling mood boards, like sending back and forth and like writing, doing a lot of write-ups. I feel like we just kind of take note of whatever ideas we have at the time and then share them with one another, and then move forward ideas.
Yeah, once it gets into like the more technical aspects, like we both like shoot photography wise, and then beyond that, like I always like have this joke, I call Jarrett like Tony Stark, because like anything like technology, like the cameras, the editing, like all like the very technical savvy aspects, like that is me like bowing down to like Jarrett, because he's very much like our edit wizard and like doing like all of those like super cool effects and stuff. And yeah.
And I, for the record, like I definitely praise CJ, because I look at shots or I look at edits or I look at a lot of stuff, not really paying attention to like the person all the time, but more so the visuals, like how stable the shot is or how the camera looks or things that are more technical. I think as CJ being kind of a person who's just has more of an eye for performance stuff, like when we're going back and forth, it helps. It's like a good checks and balances.
Yeah, checks and balances. I like that. He said I said
government
terms.
That's US government.
Period.
The one thing I learned,
y'all got the judicial branch, the executive branch, and y'all the legislative branch together.
Exactly.
Yeah, there you go. Period.
So that's so cool. One thing that I really love that stood out to me is that y'all both hype each other up and y'all encourage each other, and that's such a good thing to have, because when it comes to like business and creating, it feels good when it feels like fun, you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like work, and I feel like the vibe that y'all give off, y'all are definitely having fun while you're working, and I'm so here for it. As creatives, so y'all specialize in dancing, y'all are dancers, so how does being a dancer, no, because
I know.
DJ does it professionally, but Jarrett, I know you got some
Period.
moves.
Let him know. We've seen him dance.
I know you got some moves from those parties at UCLA.
That was a while ago.
Not just anybody can be on the dance team. So y'all are both dancers. So how does being a dancer or have experience dancing enhance y'all's creative direction?
As far as kind of like having that like performance eye, I think it just like gives us a really cool advantage and perspective to like really be able to look at like the technical aspects of the shot, but also be able to focus on just like the movement of it all. And I think what helps lots of like sets and just like work relationships is just being able to kind of be able to comfortably like demonstrate movement and be able to kind of make whoever you're working with, the artist in particular, very comfortable and kind of give them like lots of options and like ranges of movement to work with. And I think that's definitely helped us in lots of our music videos, especially that we've been fortunate enough to kind of produce and direct.
Y'all are top notch, because there's not creative directors out here that can actually like do the choreo and then get back behind the scenes and do the animation, like, you know what I mean?
Okay.
We be running back and forth on sets. Like, let me tell you, it's quite comedic how much we do sometimes, but it's really always like such a fun learning experience.
See that being something that y'all are just gonna thrive in the industry, because that's a skill that so many people want and so many people value. That brings me to things y'all have done individually as creatives yourself. So we'll start with CJ. So CJ, you were just a part of something big. You was in the Super Bowl halftime performance. So let me know, how was your experience?
Such like a surreal experience. And I feel like, especially like huge shows of like that caliber, and like, man, I'm just so grateful, like from like the cast to like the choreography team, like the creative direction team, how smoothly everything went. The 2.5 weeks we were rehearsing, like really always like try to like take a step back and just like really take a look at like who I'm working around, like literal like dance legends who like I've looked up to growing up, people I've like always wanted to share the stage with, the choreographers I was working with, like Fatima Robinson, like Dubs, Adrian. You just like don't get that opportunity every day. So I'm just like so grateful.
That's the best part of the Super Bowl to me, the halftime show. Like, that's what I came for.
And it was a cultural moment, if we're being...
Oh yes, it was an LA show.
Yes.
Iconic. All of it was just, woo, so amazing. And the fact that you were a part of it, God is so good.
Yeah,
so that brings me to you, Jarrett. So, you know, I had to be all up on your website and your portfolio. And you worked with some big name companies. So I saw Facebook, I saw Hulu. So how does it feel to work with those type of companies, and what are your experience doing that?
Coming here and wanting to work in entertainment, you want to work with the biggest companies you can, you know, and like, especially as a creative person and having the most like pull and I guess influence, it's common to go towards that. And I think, to be honest, like I very much learned so much about the whole process of production and shooting, and I guess more professional aspects of the business that I didn't know when it comes to production. From like every level, from like art direction, set design, post-production, editing, like these all experiences like that are ones that allow me to work on projects with CJ, you know what I mean, in terms of like learning certain skills. And so I'm really grateful that I had those opportunities to like just be thrust in an environment with, you know, like high-powered, I guess, like creative spaces and teams, and collaborate with them.
What is y'all's favorite project that y'all worked on together, and why?
I don't know.
Different for each one.
I don't know for me individually, but I definitely know for both of us working together. And I'm disclaimer, we love all of our projects. We put all of our heart into all of our projects. We're so proud of like the process from the ground up from each and every single one of them. But one of them that just stands out to both of us is Diana featuring Asante.
Relaunching
on our creative page soon. I think just top to bottom, like whenever we go back and watch that, whenever we're like need inspiration, honestly, we go back and watch that, and we're just like honestly like so proud of ourselves and what we created in that.
We were like feeling confident off of doing the first project for the first time, and we're like, yo, with this one we're gonna upgrade cameras, we're gonna have people helping us out, we're gonna get PAs, we're gonna get the location a day early so we could create a whole test video, which we did. Like, we just, I think, approached it with a lot more drive and motivation and confidence. And it was an idea that I think just was so great. And like, the song, and Asante killed it, and what we had her in, and the space, the location was really tight.
Yes, that makes me so happy because that honestly was one of my favorite projects to watch that y'all did. Like, I remember when you first dropped it, I was like, hold on, what's going on? Like, you know how we be scrolling on the gram just chilling, and you gotta stop, pop. Yo, what is happening here? This professional production? Like, oh, it's so amazing, and it makes me happy that that's one of y'all's favorite projects y'all worked on together, and just the execution of it, amazing. Not only because my homegirl Asante is in it, I was like, shout out. But who inspires you? And out of all the artists and entertainers and creators that inspire you, who would you be most excited to work with?
I would say I'm just so inspired by like other creatives just across everything. And I know that's pretty just general, whether it be certain musicians or whether it be like certain images or photographers or directors that I'm very into. And I would say within that, music is probably the most central kind of group of inspirations that I have.
I have a few. I can't narrow it down to one. Can I say a few?
Yeah, no.
I feel like the artists always change for me, but currently right now, I always say I want to be on Tinashe's artistic team and just.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I love me some Tinashe. Like, I really want to work with her. Tinashe, and then I think right now also FKA Twigs. And then also one of my favorite artists, her name is Banks. I'd love to work with those.
Fine artist, I would want to work with Simone Lee, who's this really dope, like, Black artist. Like, her work just made me fall in love with art in a way that I had just never before. Maybe a little Ivy Park drop at some point in the future. So
you will work on an Ivy Park.
I was gonna say you don't already worked on it.
Obviously, Beyonce and Rihanna are incredible. They just have such dope groups of creatives around them that would also just be like an honor to work with, like photographers, creative directors, like art directors, set designers.
Dope. Y'all just got me so excited because I see all of the things for y'all. I see Tinashe, Ivy Park, like all the big names. Is where do you see C&J Creative 10 years from now?
A lot of projects. That's what I see. I just see projects. I just see evolution. I see creativity.
10 years from now, it would be super cool to see us like have, it'd be cool if we had like an in-house like C&J like editor, and like we were like doing all the editing, and like we had like a C&J like even like BTS photographer, just build like lasting working relationships with. So yeah, that'd be really cool as well.
I love it. I see all of those things for y'all and some. Okay, period. So the last question we have is, what advice would y'all give to aspiring artists and creators?
Don't overthink your creative process. Set standards to grow, but also not hinder your own experience of just having fun making stuff.
For me, I would say to not be afraid to try new things. I've grown a lot as a dancer and choreographer by just like stepping into like these other disciplines, and it's kind of like even just like enhanced the world that I was already trained in.
What I love about that is even what I do right now, my whole profession, like social media management, 5 years ago, if you asked me, like, do I want to do this? I'm like, nah, like, I'm not trying to do that. And here I am now, I'm a whole social media manager, and it pays the bills. So that is the importance of why you need to try new things as a creative, because now it can enhance all the other skills and opportunities even that you will have. So excited for the future of C&J Creative. I see y'all having 6-figure budgets and revenues. I see y'all working with all the biggest names. Y'all gonna be in the magazines. Y'all gonna be doing, shoot, Oprah gonna try to interview you. I'm like, hold on. Yes, yes, yes. That's episode 2 of Beautiful Creations with TT and C&J Creative.
Hey.
I hope you all enjoyed episode 2 of Beautiful Creations. I had an amazing time speaking with C&J Creative, both CJ and Jarrett, and I hope you all were inspired by our conversation. Stay tuned for episode 3. Stay blessed, y'all.